This is Jenny with Art by Jenny K, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day. Today I wanted to show you something that I do with some of the junk stuff that I get on my door. You guys probably get these too. They're little door hanger things that people come by and advertise and leave hanging on your door. We seem to get a lot of those. So I decided to make something fun with them. You could make journal tags and things like that with them, but since they're door hangers, I thought I would go ahead and keep the door hanger part of it and make something cute for some people I work with. I'm a teacher by day, and I have a team. I work on a grade level team with other teachers in junior English, and those teachers are working on campus, but I am assigned to remote this semester. So because I am remote, I am working from home, and I wanted to take something in to drop off, so just a little surprise to let them know that I'm thinking about them, and I can zip by after hours and leave these hanging on their door. So each of the three of them is going to get a cute little hang tag. I had thought about doing these for Valentine's Day, actually, and you could certainly do a theme, a Valentine's theme, but I decided that I would rather just do something that's very springy, that they could use year round, or at least into the rest of the spring semester. Just something that would be cute hanging on their classroom door. So I created these using some old calendar pages and some just things that I had hanging around in my scraps. So I had some scraps of lace. This is obviously a little bit of ribbon. These are paper flowers. These are old stickers. This is part of a roll of little kind of tulle flowers that I will show you. This is left over from another project. This actually came off a pair of shoes I had. And then of course I have to have lots of bling. We all know that I am the queen of sparkle. I love sparkle. So let me set these aside and I'll show you what I did. So I have my ad. So I have to show you, I have this calendar, and it's a 2017, so it's pretty far out of date, but it has really pretty stuff. It's called Nature's Garden, and it has really pretty pictures in it. So I chose 3 pictures. I like that one especially. That'd be really cute if you were going to do an Easter one. So I chose 3 pictures that I thought were similar, that had the similar flowers and things on them. Super cute. There'd be a really cute fall one, Halloween. There's another really nice fall, and there's even a Christmas one. So this calendar, let's see, I think I got this one at Dollar Tree actually. It said it was made in Canada, and it looks like the artist's name is Kathleen Parr McKenna. So it's fairly old, but I've had it a while, and it's just really cute pictures. So this is the other picture I chose, and you can see it kind of goes, it's got the same kind of flowers. This is kind of a close-up of some of the flowers with a butterfly. And this one has similar colors. The flowers are different, but I think the colors with the yellows and the pinks and the greens are all kind of really similar. So I wanted them to look like they kind of go together, so that, I'm really sorry, there's a plane overhead. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but it's pretty loud. So I wanted them to kind of go together so that they would all see that they had something from me. So we're just going to cover the tag with the paper, and we want to decide. On the other ones, I went ahead and covered the whole back, so if they flipped it over, it was still pretty. I didn't embellish it, but I did make sure that there was something pretty on the back in case it got flipped and they're looking at it. I certainly didn't want to leave that ad on the back. So that's one, and then here's the other one, has some of the same flowers. So basically all I did was just wrap I wrapped the tag. And so it's kind of just a decision of, you know, sort of, that's kind of a big space. Maybe there with the 2, I like that. The 1 is pretty, but I think the 2 is better. So that's kind of go with that. That seems about right. So let's flip it over, glue it down. I made sure to line up the top, and the tag's a little long on the bottom, but we can just cut some of that off. So I just made sure to line up the top so that it was easier to get that round. It was kind of a little fussy doing some of the stuff around that little circle at the top. Sorry, guy. So, oops. Let's see if I got it. That's about right, yeah. Okay. Because, oops, see, I just said that and I didn't get it lined up at the top. Okay, well, que sera, we will have to cut that little bit of an edge. I'm using Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, and this stuff grabs, let me tell you. So if you put it down, it's gonna stick wherever you are. You have a very short window to move it around, and I didn't move it enough. So I was hoping to just cut off the bottom, but it looks like there's only a tiny little bit at the top, so we'll take care of that. So because we want this circle cut out, we're going to go ahead and cut it once, and then after we wrap the paper the rest of the way around, we'll cut it again. Just so we've got it, we've got our circle. Grab some smaller scissors. Need something a little smaller. We'll try these, but I think they might still be a little big. Whew, put your glasses on, Jenny. Gosh. I bet you guys, but I just cannot see without those glasses. So I think I can. And then I realize I get started doing something and I think, ooh, gonna make a mess of that. And I am just not the world's best circle cutter, especially something like this that you're following it around, so it'll be okay. By the time we get it all embellished, no one's really gonna pay any attention to it. I didn't have great circles on the other 2, and they're not really super noticeable. All right, so we've got that one. Let's see how much we're gonna overlap here. It's probably better to do it that way. Looks like that would be a better way to do it. Now that we've got it cut out on one side, then we can go ahead and glue this side around, and then we'll just cut it again from the other side. That's a noise. Okay, so I'm gluing here where we're paper meeting paper. So we get lots of junk mail and ads and things like that, and I really like to try to do something with them if I can. I keep thinking that sooner or later we'll be able to eradicate junk mail, but that's probably not going to happen. Okay, so I'm just gonna even up the bottom here a little bit. And then of course I messed up the top a little, so after I said we wanted it to be even at the top so that we could cut it off the bottom, of course, I didn't get it even at the top. So we'll just cut it off there. Just, you know, cuts off a little bit of our hanging space here, so we just don't want to cut off too much of that if we can. It's better to have more of that hang tag there. So, but it should still be okay. I mean, it's really heavy cardstock, and then we've wrapped it with paper, and we're going to put a bunch of stuff on it. So it should be sturdy enough to hold up there. Now we just need to cut that out. Like I said, I'm not doing a very good job there of cutting that circle, am I? I have to come back from this way. Whew, that one was much worse. Oh my gosh, of course. See, I do two and everything turns out okay, and then I turn on the camera for the last one and we're not really sure. So, but maybe we'll put some trim around that to clean it up a little bit, because that one's kind of rough looking. So on the other ones, you can see I went in with some washi tape and kind of reinforced the edges, just because they're going to be at a school. So the door gets opened and closed a lot, you know, and there's heavy use. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce this one with some washi tape along the edges, and maybe we could do something there and kind of splay it out around. Gosh, my watch is just buzzing. So what do we think? This one kind of would blend with the darker flowers. Here's some that's just kind of a print with other flowers on it. Oh, looks like it might be some, oh, flamingos. Yeah, that's cute. On there, and then there's the stripe. So I think I'm not partial to the flamingos. What do you think? I think the stripe might be kind of fun, although maybe looking at the other ones, this one's probably a better choice to blend with the other things. So let's put some washi tape around the edges, see if we can reinforce up here a little bit. Maybe we want to, if we're going to reinforce that a little, maybe we're just going to go up a little bit. Bring that in, we can trim that and then fold it over. If we need a dot of glue on there, we can do that just to get our tape to stick. Don't get too much overlap. I did not do a very good job of getting that straight, did I? So the lesson here is that if it's not perfect, it's okay. You have a couple choices. If it bothers you, and it bothers me a little bit, I can put another piece over it to straighten it out. Right, just a little, because it's a little annoying that I've gotten it so uneven. So you can try to fix it if it bothers you, or you can just go with the idea that it's handmade, and handmade things are not. Quite frankly, that's the point, right? Is we want to, we want to see the imperfection sometimes, because imperfection is more interesting. Perfection is not interesting, right? Perfection is rather dull. So, and I know there are lots of people who are, you know, concerned when they make something. They want it to look exactly perfect, and that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's totally good. But if you're kind of a wing it, and if it's not quite right, I'll deal with that later. That's okay too, and that's kind of where I am. I'm just gonna go ahead and fold that down a little bit because I think I'm gonna put a line of washi tape on the back as well. Let's see, cut the wrong way here. I mean, I definitely want things to be neat. I'm not saying that it doesn't bother me if they're messy. So when I got that one really uneven, that was, yeah, maybe not so much. And so, but you know, it's just washi tape. You can put on another piece and you can fix it. So this is a little fussy here. And I am gonna, you know, try to fix it a little bit around the top, just because, like I said, it's going to a school. I want those edges reinforced so that, you know, doors open and close, nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to tear. So, you know, I'm going to come down a little ways with the washi tape. Just to make sure that we're covered, right? So then that gets that tip, and so then I can cover a little more over here. You know, so sometimes you just have to try to fix things if you don't do them quite right the first time. But part of what makes us human, right, is having to fix it, not doing it right the first time. And that's okay. You know, it's not really about whether or not it's perfect. It's about whether or not we like it. I think because I'm trying to, I cut this one so close at the top, I'm a little worried, so I want to make sure. I did not have to do this on the other ones because I did not cut the top off. I cut the bottom off. So, yeah. And if yours is not going, you know, someplace where it's going to get a lot of heavy use, then you probably don't need to do this. It's probably, you know, much more just me being a little paranoid about where it's going and, you know, what's going to happen to it. And then see, I've got some problems there, so I could put a little washi tape around that, or I could put something else there, and I suspect we'll end up putting something else up there just to cover that up a little bit since I had some issues. And now I'm just going to do the edges. We folded the paper all the way over, so it's not going to come off on the edges. It just seems like might be nice to have a little frame. On one of the tags, I covered up most of the washi tape with embellishments, but on the other one you can see it. So since we're not really sure which embellishments we're going to use, we'll go ahead and put the tape on, and then we can decide how it looks. It's just paper. It's just paper tape. This is some of the washi tape actually that I got for my birthday. My mother-in-law was kind enough to give me some art supplies for my birthday. But a lot of the washi tape I get comes from the dollar store. You can get, it's not, sometimes not, the patterns aren't as interesting, but you can get some nice washi tape that's pretty good at the dollar store. I get lots of supplies at the dollar store because it just seems like the point is to use mostly what you have. And so if I do have to buy something, I don't want to spend very much money on it because, well, I guess, let's see, it would be nice to say, I guess, that I'm frugal as opposed to I'm cheap. I don't know, it kind of depends on your outlook, I suppose. But, you know, art can be an expensive hobby. And so it's good to save the big bucks for things that really matter. So washi tape maybe isn't one of those. Maybe it is. It kind of depends on your outlook. I don't think embellishments to me are one of the things that I spend money on. I like to spend my money on basics, good glue, good scissors, good paint, that kind of thing. And everything else is kind of whatever I can accumulate, whatever I can make on my own, whatever I can find at the dollar store, any of those things. So that is really bugging me. I wonder. I think, well, we'll wait and see. Yeah, so maybe it won't bug me as much when we get it decorated and I won't really notice it because that happens a lot too. So when I go back and look at this one, I can see that there are problems with this one too. And this one too. There's some problems with it right on the edge there because it's hard to cut that circle out of the middle. But once you get it all blinked up, nobody really pays attention. Okay, so that's the tag finally reinforced up here, and I think that's good with the extra washi tape at the top. So now let's see what we've got to put on it. That's pretty. A lot of this stuff did come from the dollar store. I've got some of this. Well, let's start with some lace though, shall we? So this one has kind of a lightweight mesh lace all around it. This one has a satiny ribbon at the bottom, which actually had a kind of an edge on it that went over the bottom. So let's see what we have. My stash here. This is pretty. I've got a little piece of doily. That might be cute hanging off the bottom there. Set that aside for now. We don't want those yet. I have another piece of the pink ribbon, but I don't think I want to do the same thing. I think I want it to be a little different. Ooh, this is pretty. Maybe some of this on the bottom. Could do it part way up so it hangs a little bit off there. Could even do 2 layers maybe. That seems like a little much because then you're cutting off the bottom there. But I really like this, so let's go with this one. I fight storage all the time. I don't know if you guys do too. It seems like to me it's just really hard to find a way to store things. So I have a bunch of flat tubs that are all labeled that I tried to sort them in as best I can. But then the problem is because they're in flat tubs, even though the tubs are pretty clear, then you can't always see what you have. But I guess if you have it all out in a pile, you can't see what you have either. So it's kind of, there's always a pro or a con to how something is organized. And my husband rearranged my studio for me for my birthday, and bought a couple more bookcases, and helped me figure out, that's pretty, I think, helped me figure out how to make the most out of the space. So I am grateful for that. I'm always grateful for any help I get in organization, because it's a fight, and I'm one of those people that is, you know, really pretty organized. I have a planner. I use the planner. I work the system, but I just feel like I can't ever quite get it to be perfect, you know. And maybe I should remember that, you know, things aren't supposed to be perfect. I suppose I should just tell myself that. Okay. I was thinking we might put some of those across the bottom. What do you think? The yellow might be pretty. I haven't used that in the other. I don't know. That seems a little much. We might put some around the edge. This is cute. I've got some of this trim, vintage. Kind of vintage trim that we could put over the top. Then what would we put up the sides? Maybe something green, maybe some bling. I don't know, I'm loath to cover that, but I feel like another layer would, you know, it's like too much is never enough, right? Just not. I think maybe that would be fun. Let's just put another layer on there, just because. You know, the thing about the door hangers is we don't have to worry about whether anything is going to stick up, because it's hanging on the door. So it's not like a tag where we're going to put it in. Oh, my Fabri-Tac has sticky stuff on it. A tag that we're going to put, you know, into a journal. We have to worry because it has to be at least flat enough to get the journal closed, or it needs to be, you know, something that we can tuck down into a pocket. But certainly something like a door hanger, we don't have to worry about it at all. I'm just going to put just a tiny little bit of glue on the edges here so that they don't fray up. I don't mind if they fray a little, but I certainly don't want them to fray enough to, you know, fall apart. Nothing like that. So just a little glue. Okay. So that's, you know, that's one of the good things about doing something like this, is it can stick way up. Which, like on this other one, this is leather, and it, like I said, it came off of a shoe, and you can see it sticks up pretty far. I'm trying to see if I can get the angle. You can see how far up off of the paper that is. So it's pretty far up. So I don't think we have to worry too much with something like this project about sticking up too far. So I used some of this on both of the others, and like I said, I want to use some repeat elements. But I don't want them to feel matchy. I just want them to look like they're a set. So I want them to go together, but I don't necessarily want them to match. So if I use some of the same elements, then they certainly have that feel like they go together. But if I don't repeat it on everything, or I don't use it in the same way every time, then they're not matching. They're just they just go. They're a set. And so I like, this is another thing that I got from Dollar Tree. So this is available there. It comes in 3 or 4 colors, I think. I've got this also in blue, I think. And then, you know, you can cut it apart, so that's always nice. So maybe up the side. Just looking for something to kind of pull the eye around. Let me show you, like on this one, I I decorated the edges, so this went all the way around, and then I have a cluster of 3, and there are 3 major flowers here, and then there's 1 butterfly. So our eyes like to see things that are asymmetrical. So they like it when everything isn't exactly even. Sets of 3, sets of 5, 1, 3, 5, odd number things. So we put this on 3 sides. We embellished it with this again on 3 sides. We gave it 3 flowers. We have 3 flowers here. On the center flower, I gave it a few little pearls here, and there's 7 of those, and then the 1 butterfly. So my job is, when I'm doing something, is to pull attention to some of the details. So I've added interesting things on the edge to give it some lusciousness, some you know, feel and texture. And then I did 3 different kinds of flowers down here, again, for more texture. And so that 3 kind of moves us up a little bit, and then we see these, and that pulls our eye to the central flower, which then pulls our eye up to the butterfly. So that's kind of what we're after, and the same thing is true on this one. We have, you know, 1 thing at the bottom and a cross. We have 3 yellow flowers. We have a single grouping of flowers. These are 3D paper stickers. And then here's another one of the little pink kind of tulle roses that I cut down and kind of made it a little smaller because they're sort of oblong and big. So I kind of wrapped it in on itself. And then on the hummingbird, again, I used the little green kind of jewels, but I did it in 3 places to emphasize the structure of the feathers. But it pulls our eye up. We start here, we're kind of doing here, we're kind of moving here, we're here, then we're all the way up here. So our eye starts down here where we see the most stuff, and then it moves up this way. And our eye starts down here where we see the stuff, and it moves up with the pearls and up to the butterfly because it's a different color. So that's what we're after here. We want something to, we see this, it catches our eye because it's larger and different, right? This is flat, this is 3D, so it's going to catch our eye. So we want to try to move the eye up into the picture a little bit. So we'll see, maybe we'll put some of these, I mean, we did that on 1, but then I put some across the bottom too. So maybe we won't put them on the bottom, but that seems like, or maybe we'll just put them, we could put them just on the bottom. We could layer up that bottom and then use these somewhere else. Maybe we could do some of the stems. Not really sure about that. That's cute across the bottom. If we made a couple little stripes where that green is, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Thinking I like that. My friends tease me because I am all about shiny things. I love sequins and glitter and jewels, and I'm always you know, putting something on, embellishing something. A couple of years ago, I had a broken foot, and I had to wear one of those big black kind of heavy looking boots that velcros around your foot, so your foot stays still. And I just couldn't bring myself to wear it without embellishing it. So I took a bunch of big jewels. I had a pack of great big jewels, and I ran them across the toe and around the edge and across the top of the boot where all the Velcro was. I got quite enough glue there. So I just, you know, I put bling on everything. One of my favorite pieces of clothing is actually a sequin skirt that's rainbow. It's rainbow stripes and sequins. And so you know, my friends, as soon as they see these cards with all of the jewels and the bling, they're going to know exactly who left them there. There's not going to be any doubt in their mind where they came from. So this is the trim with the little pink flowers. Maybe one. I do have that. That's a repeated element on each of them. One of them has a little bit of green. We could use the green. Kind of like the green. Kind of like the green. A lot of times I pick up trims on closeout at you know, in the dollar bins at the craft store. I get a lot of them from secondhand shops, like Goodwill, those kind of places. They put them in bags. Maybe we'll do it on this side. They often just kind of put lots of different trim. They stick it in a big bag and put like $2 on it. And so you can't always tell what you're going to get. But there's always something in there that's worth a couple dollars. So, you know, if you're interested in doing that sort of thing, that might be a way to beef up your stash. Unless, of course, you're like me and you have way too much stuff anyway. So I'm kind of liking that single flower down there, and then maybe we'll do some embellishing on the flowers, and we're drawing our eye this way. So we've got this kind of green that's pulling our eye up because it's some contrast to the pink. You know, we always want some contrast if we can get it. That's what pulls our eyes in different directions. It's the contrasting color. There we go. He's cute. I think he's cute. I like the little frayed edges on that. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you just find interesting things in the bags of stuff. And sometimes we look at it and think, oh, I don't really know. That doesn't really look like something I would use. But you never know. It's possible that something different might come to you. You might look at something in a different way when you get it home and you unpack it. So, you know, I think that's always a good way to go about beefing up your stash a little bit. Let's see. I pulled some different things that we could possibly put on here, and I'm just not sure what I like. I think that's way too big. That's, yeah, way too big. Not the right kind. I've got several of those, but they're a little large. I do have some of these little puffy satin looking ones that kind of look like some of the flowers. That might be kind of cute. Maybe at the upper edge up there. We'll leave those on there for now and see. You know, we won't glue them down yet. We'll just take a look to see what we might like. I also have some more jewels. Maybe the centers of some of the flowers. You know, we could put a jewel in the middle. Some of those, we could put one there too. So we've got those. I've got some light pink pearls, which we used on one of the other tags. Let's see what else. And I have some more of the 3D flower stickers. Let's see what those might look like. I don't know about you, but I can't ever tell. I have to kind of pull it off of the sticker thing just to see. See, that has kind of a blue thing around it, so we'd want to cut that away. Sort of look like it goes, but I'm just not really sure. I'm not in love with that one. Just not sure. I don't think this one has enough bling on it yet. I think this one needs some more bling. But let's, maybe I do like that one, but I don't think I like the blue out around the edge that's framing it. That's really not what I'm after. So we'll just cut some of that off. That seems like, if we're going to kind of pull our eye up, where could we put it? We could maybe connect it there and then pull something else up into here. That might be a good idea. Let's try that there. So it sort of goes, but it's not quite, it's not exactly the same, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Let's do the same thing on this one. I don't want to lose the 3D part of it, so I don't want to take the back completely off, because then I'm going to lose the little riser, but I don't want all that extra. It used to be, like if I had if I had stickers, I kind of thought I always had to just use whatever was there. I was like, well, somebody designed it that way, so that must be the best way to do it. And it might be a good way to do it, but it may not be the only way to do it. So I'm not sure about those now. So we're kind of going 1, 2, maybe a third one here. We could do maybe a little cluster up here. This is where it's going to hang, but I didn't do that very good job up there of cutting. We might do a little cluster there. That's kind of cute. So we need maybe one more of those. Let's see, we've got yellow. I don't think we want the cluster. I think maybe the yellow one, especially since we have that little yellow one up there. Get some of this on there, and then we'll add some shiny stuff. Shiny stuff. I'm all about the shiny stuff, right? But I do want to, I'm moving, so this color, right? We've got the lace, we've got this green blingy is moving into this green, kind of going here because this is sticking up off of the page. Maybe back up in here. We want some movement, we're going this way, and then maybe back up to here. And then that would cover up my mistake of a little bit up here, but it would also, it's not going to interfere with where it's hanging on the door, so that's probably a good idea. You can see I pulled these off of another project. Sometimes I have projects and then later I think to myself, I really don't like that anymore, or something happens to it, it gets broken, a cat chews on it, it sits in my office too long, something like that, and then eventually I look at it and think, I should do something else with that. So then I take the things apart and use them again. So I'm just a stickler for not throwing stuff away if I don't have to. So, even pieces of art, when you read about the great masters, they would paint something and then after a while they would decide that maybe it wasn't good enough anymore because they painted it when they were still learning a technique, and now they've mastered the technique, and so then they would paint over it. Or they needed a canvas and that one hadn't sold, so they would paint over it. So it's okay to decide that whatever you did before maybe doesn't please you as much anymore, and so you don't want, you don't want to keep it, but you don't want to throw away the materials. Repurpose the materials. You can always put those in a journal for sure, if nothing else. I have art journals and books that I sketch things in, and then later I actually go back and cut them up and use the pictures and stuff, maybe in a junk journal, because I think, well, that sketch wasn't very good, but I don't really want to throw it away. I just want to repurpose it in some way. I am not doing a very good job of gluing today. It's a good thing that glue dries clear, because I am just having trouble with it. And see, that one didn't even stick because my fingers are so sticky. I just need to wipe my fingers off, I think. Fingers are sticky, and then I have trouble getting the glue because I'm just having trouble today, apparently. There we go. That's better. So, whoops. I'm liking some of the jewels here just to give it a little sparkle, because that sparkle is part of what draws our eye upward too. So put some on those little 3D flowers. I can have one down here to help lead our eye up. Just not doing very well today with that glue. And then maybe some up here too to keep going. Just about 4 of those. Let's see, what do we think? Do we think a yellow up there? Or do we want, maybe we want some of the little pink pearls up there. Maybe just another one right here, just to continue pulling our eye up. I am just a mess with that glue today. So then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So we've got kind of this movement going up. We can see it's pulling our eye in a different direction. Up the page or up the tag. If you wanted to do these just for tags in a junk journal, you could do that. Might want to do something a little less, sticks out a little less. On the other hand, this would be really cute on the front of a journal. You could use it as the front, as a decoration across the front. I'll just do a few little pearls here, just to. This one's maybe not quite as blingy as the other ones, which is probably okay, because one of my friends is not nearly as enamored with bling as some of my other friends. She doesn't mind it necessarily on other people, but she doesn't necessarily want to have it herself. So that's always just a personal choice. And I am certainly for people doing whatever makes them happy. So I'm just moving that around all over the place. Isn't that the way? As soon as you turn on the camera, there's the one I thought I missed. As soon as I turn on the camera, suddenly I can't get things to go. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. So let's bring in our other two and put them beside it. Very cute and flowery and girly, I think, for my girlfriends, and it'll just be a cute little something they can hang on their door to brighten up their classroom. So I hope next time you get, junk in the mail, that you think about what maybe you could do with that. The card stock that they send is really thick. It's really good. Advertisements can be covered up, and it's a great way to make something pretty and keep it out of the landfill, at least, for a while, for sure, and until somebody decides to rip it up and do something else. Like, my girlfriends in a few years might go, oh, I'm going to take that apart and put that in my journal. And then that'll still be out of the landfill, so that'll be good. So if you're enjoying what we're doing here, you can always buy me a cup of coffee. I love coffee. So I hope you had a good time. I hope you try out doing something with some junk mail. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.